Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Monster vs. Monster here on the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel. How is everyone doing today? Thank you all so much for joining me, and this one is going to be a really fun and interesting battle for you all today. We are going to be placing orcs, or as I should have called them, Savage Orcs versus Hobgoblins. And why are these Savage Orcs attacking Hobgoblins? Well, after the defeat of the orcs at the hands of the Kobolds that are now reigning terror across the lands that we are currently building here, you are all helping me build, the orcs have turned to savage magics and have gone, for lack of a better term, feral. And this is what's going on here. These orcs are raining terror and pillaging the countryside, and their current ire has been focused to this Hobgoblin Fort that we see in front of us here. And if you'd like to see where this particular map came from, check out the description below. It's a new map maker, and this one actually is specifically built for Foundry. It has all the walls already installed, so I don't have to do anything, but we're not using the walls today. So, now that we have our story out of the way, what are we doing here? And first of all, let me give you all a warning. There is currently a thunderstorm going on here where I live, so if the power goes out, I will be back as fast as I can, hopefully soon enough. If not, we might have to postpone this match and either restart or continue next time. So yes, TJ man, Savage Orcs. They are my own custom-built orcs that are a little stronger and a little more feral than your standard D&D 5e orcs. Yes, the fort is a smiley face. Kind of looks like a frog. So, let us get to meeting the factions here. For our orcs, we have the following. We have Zalzal Gnome Mutilator, the Savage Orc Shaman, Grug, the Savage Orc himself, Wrong and Ball, Savage Fury Orcs, and Maul the Berserk, the Savage Orc Berserker. Now, we will see some of their, capabilities here in a little bit. We'll get into those details as they come up in battle here. So for our Hobgoblins, we have the following. We have 4 standard Hobgoblins by the name of Novel, Shordeck, Kugorg, and Rugged. Vincent Roberto, hello! Thank you for joining. TJ Man as well, also thank you for joining. Yes, please hit those votes and let us know if you'd like me to roll high or low when we do the between round checks here to see if a third devastating party comes into play. Evil Lord Gravy, hello buddy. Yes, honestly, gnomes deserve it. Hey, now some gnomes don't deserve it, like my particular forest gnome wizard, Adulton. That dude is hilarious and a little ADD, or ADHD. And then leading this ragtag group of hobgoblins here is Lordever the Hungry. And so what's going on for our hobgoblins is that the rest of the fort or rest of the troops have gone out on their own missions, and this is just a skeleton crew that is protecting the fort at the moment. Sadly for them, and unfortunately, this band of savage, just raging orcs here have made this their current target. So, kobolds greater than gnomes. That I will allow, yes. Kobolds are probably better than gnomes. Now, with that, let us get into battle and start this up. Now, obviously there was a pre-game check here for our battle map, quote-unquote, lair action. So on 20s, we will have, looks like most people voted for living spells. So we will have some living spells assaulting both sides of the campaign here, or this monster versus monster. There could have also been no interference. A few of you wanted no interference for the game. A few of you, a small amount of you wanted an escaped hungry wyvern that the idea was the kobold or the hobgoblins here were training to use for whatever attack they were going to use, and no one voted for air, earth, fire, and water. So unfortunately, that was the last pick there. So come join the live stream beforehand to vote in the battle map lair actions, and even voting for high and low checks between round combats. And yeah, let's get started here and roll for round 1 of combat here. So we're going to go ahead and begin combat, and we will roll initiative. Here come the D20s, and that's a good amount of D20s there. First off, we have Shordeck, Kugorg, followed by Maul the Berserk, Rugged, Lordever the Hungry, Sajol, no Mutilator, Ball, Novel, Grug, and Wrong. So let us begin combat with Shore Deck here, number 1. So we will go ahead and zoom in on Shore Deck. Shore Deck is currently behind the walls and is speaking with the captain of the Hobgoblins and doesn't really know anything about what's going on here with these orcs. So unfortunately, they're going to lose their turn because there's nothing going on. So they're pretty much at a disadvantage for this round. And let me see here, just checking one other thing. Looks like 9, 10% seems high chance for the spells. Yeah, possibly. We will probably be doing top of the thing. And don't forget to like the live stream because, oh, that's what I'm missing here. My banners. Hold on. Let me get that stuff up real quick. I'm missing the live stream count. Oh, it looks like some stuff may have happened with that. No big deal. Yes, so if you hit the like on the live stream, that will influence the between round check. So the higher that percentage goes, the more likely a third-party Devastator will come in. And this is going to be much higher than the CRs of what is currently going on. And at the moment, I'm seeing 8 likes. So this will be 93 to 100% if we keep that high range of at the 100% mark. All right, so let us go ahead and get into the next part of here. So Shore Deck, unfortunately, doesn't do anything because they are not alerted to combat. They are currently talking with the captain. Up next is Kugorg, who is watching over the walls. We have 2 of our Hobgoblins here keeping watch. We have Rugud and Kugorg. And Kugorg notices that these orcs have made their ways here and are looking just ferocious and calls to the captain, quick, there's orcs on the lookout. We need to close the gates. And sure enough, he starts to rush in and begins closing the gates here. So he's going to close his gate on this one side using his action. And let me see if I can draw something real quick here. So we'll go ahead and say that's the first gate closed. And then the other gate needs to be closed as well, as one of the doors is closed pretty quickly. Yes, exactly, Herr Doctor. He does see the orcs coming over the wall here. So that is his action, and then the next we have Mauled Berserk. Let's see what he can do here. Now, as one thing I need to note about our standard Hobgoblins here. At the way they stand with the sword and shield, they're actually a CR1. So I've gone ahead and put their longsword into both hands, and they're not using shields, which brings their AC down to a 16 and puts their CR at 1/2. So I had to fix all of my Hobgoblins for this to make sure they were CR 1/2, otherwise they'd be overrated. Now, the captain is perfectly fine. He didn't need any adjustments. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at Mauled Berserk, my Savage Orc Berserker, and see what they got, which is going to be fun. All right, so here's our classic lookout. We have a whole bunch of hit points. You've always read my comment after the fact. Yep, we are same wavelength here, Herr Doctor. So, our Savage Orc Berserker at CR2 has 93 hit points. Yes, a lot of hit points, but has only 11 AC, so basically this dude is just running in bare-chested, no armor whatsoever. But they have the feature of Relentless Endurance and Reckless. Now, they should have, I think that's everything. So yes, they have Reckless, which means they can gain advantage on the attacks and disadvantage on being attacked. So, just like your standard Berserker here, but what's this Relentless Endurance about? It has 3 uses. So all of my Savage Orcs have the ability to, when reduced to 0 hit points, they are instead reduced to 1 hit point. Apply 1 failed death saving throw to the orc. If the orc ever has 3 failed death saving throws, they are dead and may not use this feature again. So this is a very angry orc and gets 3 chances to defeat death, even when they are reduced to 0. Now, how did I work this in? It's very similar to kind of like the undead fortitude and those lines. So all of my Savage Orcs here have Relentless Endurance and need to be killed 3 times before they finally die. So our Savage Orc Berserker here can move 30 feet and just rushes in crazy. So let's see if he can get in there and just start causing chaos before the other door is closed. So we go ahead and rush in 30 feet to here, and then with the other door still open, manages to get in, we'll say, to here. Looks around, pivots, and then shifts to Novel in the back here to just start causing chaos. So that's Mauled Berserk's turn. He just rushes right in before the doors are closed on the fort here. And we move on to Rugged. Rugged is up here on the fort, on the battlements here, and has his longbow ready to start attacking. No shield also makes longbow attacks easier, I guess. Probably. We'll see what happens here. Truck95, hello, buddy. Welcome aboard, and thanks for watching. So, Rugged has been alerted by Kugarg, who has closed one of the gate doors and is going to start taking some shots. Seeing that Mauled Berserk is in here alone with 4 Hobgoblins, he's going to start attacking one of these Fury Orcs at the right off the top here. So we're going to go ahead and switch to our longbow. Double check our features here. I think it's only 1 shot, unfortunately. Yes, it's only 1 shot, but they do have martial advantage. So once per turn, the Hobgoblin can deal an extra 7 damage to a creature it hits with a weapon attack. If that creature is within 5 feet of an ally of the Hobgoblin. Unfortunately, they're not, so we won't get the martial advantage right away. Alright, so first shot is right up against Wrong, and we're going to go ahead in for that longbow attack. You haven't missed anything really right now, Truck95. It is the Hobgoblin's target is blocked by a wall. Okay, let's put you up 10 feet here. We're going to say you're up 10 feet. Now you should be able to shoot over the wall. You haven't missed anything, Truck95. This is the beginning of round 1 so far, so you are right on time. Let's try this again. Longbow attack. Oh, you kidding me here. Alright, let me look at this. Why are we blocked? How high do I have to absolutely be? This is silly. Alright, you know what? I will just go ahead and delete these walls then. You've pushed my buttons here. And now I'm deleting walls to make sure these attacks go off. Alright, here we go. Roll number 3. Oh no, with a critical miss. Wrong is badly missed by the attack, and there is no damage. Surprisingly enough, this Fury Orc is just fuming and seething with rage and avoids being attacked by this first arrow. And Rugged is shocked and startled and looks at how quickly the Orc is able to deftly move out of the way and starts to load up another arrow. We now end combat here and move on to Lord Ever the Hungry. Lord Ever is going to use their first action to use and go for, what is it, leadership. For 1 minute, the Hobgoblin can utter a special command or warning whenever a hostile creature that is it can see within 30 feet of it makes an attack roll or saving throw. So creatures can now add a D4 to the rolls provided it can hear the Hobgoblin. So he's basically calling out and issuing orders here. So this is going to be its first action here. So we're going to go ahead and use the feature for leadership, and now all of the Hobgoblins are going to get a D4 on their checks. So just to double check myself here, it can add a D4 to rolls provided it can hear. Alright, so it looks like attack rolls. Yes, attack rolls and saving throws. Very good. Yes, the Savage Orc Goblins tokens are sponsored by Hair Doctor. So thank you so much, Hair Doctor, for the time you spent making those tokens. I super appreciate it. It's been a blessing having you helping me out with all that. Let's see, Wrong has got to have a relative somewhere named Right. Oh, please, that has to be the case. Wrong and Right. I should have made... Oh, you know what? Okay, we're going to have Wrong and Right. Here we go. We're going to update their name. Perfect. Sisters Wrong and Right. There we go. Beautiful. Love it. Gotta just update that here. Wrong and... Update combatant. There we go. Perfect. Now we have Wrong and Right. Excellent. So that is Lord Ever the Hungry's turn. He starts issuing commands to all of the Hobgoblins that can hear him. Then they will all get a D4 to their attack rolls. Alright, that is his turn. He's going to stay and stand his guard while drawing his weapon. And we move on to Zajal the Gnome Mutilator. Zajal the Mutilator here. Let's take a look at what he can do. He is a CR 1/2 Savage Orc Shaman. Now, nothing too crazy here. We have 60 hit points, 12 AC, so that comes from a little bit of leather armor and their dexterity. And then on top of that, we have, oh, I forgot, lightning resistance. They are resistant to lightning, and my other orcs are all resistant to bludgeoning damage. That was just a little extra feature in there because they're just so swole that bludgeoning damage just doesn't do anything to them. All right, so they have an attack called Lightning Slam, and this can be done at ranged or at melee. So this is their they're just shooting electrical bolts from their hands. They also have some innate spellcasting of a few things. They can control flames, druidcraft, gust, and mold earth. So this could also be pretty handy in these events here. They have the relentless endurance, and they also have leather armor. So nothing too terribly crazy, but this could be handy nonetheless. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and have Zajal move on up 30 feet and then target the archer up in the tower here, since they can basically see each other, more or less. Although I'm going to give Rugged partial cover here. So let's go ahead and see about getting that in there. All right, let's get the cover in there. Going to give him half cover for being up on the tower and a little bit of an advantage there for high ground. And Zajal is going to go in for the Lightning Slam against Rugged. All right, and here we go. That's going to be a base 7, total of 11, and misses Rugged with his Lightning Slam attack. Unfortunately, with this AC of 16, they're going to need to do a little bit more of an attack roll to hit these guys. All right, that is Zajal's turn. He's moved and attacked. We now move on to Right, who has a chance to rush on up and get into the fort as well. All right, so let's take a look at our Savage Fury Orc. 63 hit points, 11 AC. Again, these orcs are just relying on the sheer hit points and the sheer just bulk that they have running around to keep themselves alive. They have hand axes, relentless endurance, a multi-attack of 2 hand axe attacks, which they can throw. And how many hand axes do they have? As many as they need. They also have brutal critical and blood frenzy. So, brutal critical, what that means is that the orc has advantage on melee attack rolls against any creature that doesn't... Oh, wait. Why is that? Oh, the wording's wrong. Brutal critical means they should have attack range increase. So when... Or no, they get an extra die roll. So let's just double check here the hand axe. The brutal critical will give them... No, critical threshold here. So that means they can crit on a 19 or 20. So we might see more criticals from these two. And then the Blood Frenzy just gives them advantage once a creature doesn't have all of its hit points. So Right is going to also rush right in. Maybe not the right thing to do, but that's what they're going to do. And dashes in maybe 45 feet to here. And just blockades Kugong from closing the other gate here. Tactics versus damage sponge. Yes. Only distinguished and respectable casters take mold earth. He is a very distinguished savage orc here. All right, so that is Right's turn. They just double move in to get into the fort before the doors are closed. And last we have Novel here, who has been confronted by Maul the Berserk. So we're going to have Novel go ahead and make an attack. They only get one, having their longsword drawn. We're going to go ahead and attack Maul the Berserk here. So let's zoom in on the attack and see what happens. Okay, so this is a 12. We're not going to worry about the relentless endurance. That is a hit. We don't have to worry too much about adding the D4. And we end up with 7 points of damage, which, if we can get past the thing here, 7 points of damage does not do a lot to these orcs. They are massive with hit points. Good lord, they are just damage sponges, like you said here, Doctor. Okay, so these orcs are going to take a lot of hits. We'll see what happens here in a moment. Unfortunately, we don't get the martial advantage because they are not within range of a friend, although anyone else shooting from range could also certainly get that. And that is Novel's turn. We move up next to Grug, who is our basic Savage Orc, but let's take a look at what they have to offer. They are CR 1/2 with 42 hit points and 13 AC. They actually have studded other armor, so they're a little more protected. And... they have the hand axes, a multi-attack, 2 attacks here, relentless endurance, brutal critical, and savage attacks. So they have the brutal critical here that allows them to hit 19 to 20, and then the savage attacks will also give them 1 additional damage dice. So we should see that in the hand axe here. If we look here, we have nope, that should be a 19. Okay, brutal critical. Thanks. Thankfully, I've added that in. And when we hit a critical, we get an extra D6 on top of the other D6 as well. So if these guys hit, they're going to be doing a lot of damage. All right, Grug just screams out with a feral battle cry. It's just like, "Rah!" and goes in for the charge. Also trying to get into the fort before it closes. So that's going to be 30 feet to there, and then also rushes in another 30 feet. Not seeing anyone that they can easily get up to attack at the moment. And last to go is Wrong. Again, this is our Fury Orc, and they're also going to just dash right in and go in for, let's see here, 25 feet to there. Probably go after the archer, since the archer was the one that attacked her. Okay, so that is the end of round 1, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at our poll here for the high or low check. It looks like 80% of you that have voted with 5 votes would like to see a high roll. So we will indeed be going 92 to 100. I think that is. Let's see here. 92, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. Yes, 92 to 100 will proc the third-party devastating third-party monster. And before we go any further, I just want to throw in the last poll here for the game. And we're going to start a poll here. Who's taking the win? We're going to go for the Orc Boys, the Red Boys, or the third party. All right, so you guys can go ahead and vote on that next poll here as I get into rolling. All right, so we are checking for highs, and with 9 likes on the channel, we are looking for a 92 to 100. All right, let's take a look here. With a D100 roll, do we get to see our third party? Ooh, we do not. With a 34 at the end of round 1, there is no distant shuffling or shaking in the winds. All right, that ends round 1, and we begin the top of round 2 with Shoredeck, who was unfortunately basically flat-footed and did not get a chance to attack. But seeing that there is a good opportunity here to flank Wrong, we're going to go ahead and have Shoredeck move up, drawing their long sword, and goes in for a flank attack against Wrong here. All right. And we roll 2 dice for advantage, and we end up with, a base 5. Surprised by the flood of orcs rushing in through the gates, we are unable to have Shoredeck hit Wrong, sadly. All right, that ends Shoredeck's turn, and we move on to Kugorg, who is next to go. Taking the, actually, hold on. We got to roll that d4, because we do have the advantage here, so this might turn into a hit, actually. Let's roll that d4 and see what happens. We get a 2, so that's only a 10. I wonder, is there a way to add in the D4 to the features here? Let me see real quick. D4, attack roll bonus. Yes, we probably could add in a D4 here. So I wonder if I do it from here real quick. Pardon me, folks, while I take care of this. This is the master sheet, so let's see what happens. Now, I got to do this individually. All right, so they're all getting an extra D4 here to attack. Let's go ahead and throw that into the attack roll bonus, 1d4. I'll have to do that a couple times, but that's quite all right. I'll do that as the turns come up. Kugorg's going to pivot and turn to attack Wrong. Since, they are more militaristic, they're definitely going to target more than one if need be. So Kugorg is next to go, draws their longsword, and goes in for the attack at advantage. Okay, let's see what happens here. Sure enough, we do get that D4 extra. And that's going to be, let's get over to the numbers here, a total of 24 to hit, and a total of 9 slashing damage to Wrong, who takes a pretty decent hit here, but still, 1 slash and the blood's dripping down, and she just laughs maniacally at Kugorg, who does very little damage to her. And that is the end of Kugorg's turn. Actually, no, we also add in the martial advantage, excuse me. So let's go ahead and roll that. Let me see here. Can I do that down here? No, I can't. Shoot. That's a shame. Okay, martial advantage. We're adding in an additional 2d6 or 9 more points of damage, and that martial advantage adds in a good hit of damage here. Almost bringing us bringing us down to about 25% of the Orc Fury's life. Not bad at all. Up next is Maul the Berserk. And Maul, seeing that they have a chance here, is going to continue assaulting Rugged with the lightning, since it's the only thing that makes sense right now. And the door's still open, he might as well. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong person. Maul the Berserk is over here. Maul the Berserk is going to continue their attack on Novel. I was thinking it was my Shaman. All right, let's take a look at Maul the Berserk again. I do believe he gets... I think he was supposed to get a multi-attack. Let me double check something real quick here. I might have missed something when I was building them out. I want to go to Home Brewery real quick. Go to my brews. Gonna pull up my orc and just verify. We're looking at the Berserker here. All right, let's take a look here. Yes, they're supposed to have a multi-attack of 3 hand axe attacks. So, yeah, totally forgot about the multi-attack. Okay. So what we'll do then is we'll just open up you. And we should be able to just drag and drop this in. There we go. Multi-attack. And they get to make 3. I was going to say, 1 multi-attack did not sound right for this. Okay, 3 multi-attacks. And, yeah. With Reckless on. Oh, yeah, definitely going Reckless. So that's going to happen. So as a bonus action, or not a bonus action there, we got here reactions, we got that. Okay, yeah, going and getting advantage on the attack and advantage back on Maul the Berserk. So hand axe number 1 at advantage is going to be a base 10, total 15, misses unfortunately. Attack number 2 is going to be a base 11, which just hits with a 16 and deals Novel 8 points of damage. Novel has taken a massive hit from Maul the Berserk, and we get 1 more swing as we deal with a 15, dealing 20 points of damage, and Novel has been defeated. Maul the Berserk just clashes his hand axes up high, leaving out this massive orc bellow like a and turns to face the captain, who is next on the list, as the other orcs are looking over and just ravaging this hobgoblin camp. All right, let me get back to my chat here just to see what's going on. And let's see what I miss. This one's looking to be an absolute slugfest. It really is, yes. The Berserker took 7 damage and did nothing to him. So yeah, yeah, really it took a lot of damage. Didn't take a lot of damage with that amount of hit points there. Ooh, they're easy to hit, but man, they have a lot of hit points. Herr Doctor says, I'm currently playing a Barbarian, and I will say that if you don't have flanking, you always go Reckless. That is for sure. Okay, so Maul the Berserk still has their disadvantage for going Reckless, but that's up to whoever attacks them next. All right, so that is Novel. They are currently defeated and out of combat. We move on to Rugged, who is up top here, and is going to take another shot at the Orc Shaman, who is up there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a shot with the longbow, and being that they're up high, you know, I'm going to give him advantage for the height difference. They're probably a little higher than 10 feet, but whatever. All right, so that's going to be a base 12 with a total of 15 for 7 points of damage, and Zajal has been dealt some damage for the first time this game so far. And yeah, it's a pretty decent amount of damage. 7 points is pretty good there. But, you know, when you take 7 points to Maul the Berserk, oof, okay. So that's Rugged's turn. He has shot off an arrow at Zajal, and we now move on to Lordever the Hungry. All right, so Lordever the Hungry, not being foolish, is going to use their martial advantage and work on some of these orcs that are right here. So he's going to go ahead and pivot over to here and stop Wrong's progression. May not get the advantage, but definitely is going to attack Wrong with as much might as possible, going in for the attacks. Now, we do have the multi-attack feature here, so that's going to be 2 greatsword attacks, but not at advantage. But they could get the martial advantage. Who knows? We'll see what happens in a moment here as we take a greatsword attack against Wrong. Wrong is dealt hit by an 18 base, total of 22, and 8 points of damage. We're going to go ahead and throw in that martial advantage damage. And that's going to be, let's see here, multi-attack, that's the wrong spot. Martial advantage, there you are. Let's go ahead and roll that 3d6 to see how much more damage we deal. 8 more points of damage for this round. So that's going to be an 8 there. And then goes in for 1 more greatsword attack against Wrong. Let's see what we get with a base 4 and a total of 8. That sadly misses as he swings once and then tries to come with the backswing to hit Wrong, and Wrong just laughs and just kind of deflects it with her hand axe as well. And that is Lord Ever the Hungry's turn. Up next is Zajal, the Gnome Mutilator. He is going to continue moving in ever so close, but still targeting Rugged, and goes in for another lightning slam attack. Let's see here. Base 15, total of 19. This time Rugged is finally hit for 8 points of lightning damage and is wounded. Good lord. Only 11 hit points. They're really relying on their AC to not get hit. And this Hobgoblin should not have an AC. Should have a 16 total. That's interesting. Why did that get updated? Weird. Okay. They should be at a 16. I'm going to put that at 16 there, because he's using his bow and arrow. Oh, cover. That's why. My bad. Let's see here. Add a D4. Well, he hit anyway. Oh, the backswing. Let me see. Does he affect... a non-hostile creature. I don't think the leadership works on himself. And yes, thank you here, Doctor, the cover. Can you imagine a Kobold Hobgoblin mix that not only gets advantage with fighting with allies, but also extra damage? Oh, that would be vicious, and I think that's something we have to make, Herr Doctor. Blanky Cat, hello! Thank you for joining the live stream. You have just hit the middle of round 2 here. Hopefully you enjoyed this 5e craziness of Monster vs. Monster here. So we're going to go on for the attack. Zaljal just zapped the hell out of Rugged here and dealt him some damage as he just laughs maniacally. You know, kind of like a, what is that orc's name from World of Warcraft? The evil necromantic one. Kind of like that. Oh, yes, the other Hobgoblins. Oh, yeah, they'll definitely get the extra D4 there for sure. Okay, so moving on. Next is Right. And Right here is going to just attack Kugarg. For their turn. We do have the multi-attack of 2 attacks with the Brutal Critical and Blood Frenzy. Unfortunately, Kugarg hasn't been damaged yet, so there's no extra benefit to them at the moment, but we do have the multi-attack of 2 hand axe attacks. So let's go ahead and get those 2 attacks in. Alright, so attack number 1 is going to be a base 3, total of 8, and misses as the armor, Kugarg just deflects the first axe slice with his armor. Next attack is going, almost a natural 20 to a base 2 and misses again as Right is just screaming frenzied, trying to attack Kugarg with all of their might. But unfortunately with Kugarg's military training, they're unable to land any blows on Kugarg. Alright, that is Right's turn, and we move past Novel, who has been slain. First one in battle here, and we move to Grug. Grug is going to... not shift, because they're just in a frenzy here, and goes in for the attacks. Let's double check the attacks here. We get 2 hand attacks and the Brutal Critical and Savage attacks. So let's see if we get some critical hits. All right, Grug is going in for the attacks. So first hand axe attack. Hand axe is designed to commute. Oh, come on now. Did I forget to update that? I did. Let's get rid of that ammunition. None. There we go. Silly me. Okay. Hand axe attack number 1. That's going to be a base 6, total of 10. That misses, unfortunately, and we go in for the second attack against Shordek. With a base 6 again, the Hobgoblins on this side are able to easily deflect the lower CR orcs here and deflect their blows. Grug just yells at Shordek in frustration as we move on to Wrong, who is in the middle, just laughing hysterically and enjoying the thrill of battle here. She's going to go ahead and, well, I guess continue attacking Kugarg, and we will, see what happens to him, unfortunately. Alright, so, shifting over, we're going for the attack. That's going to be a base 11, total of 16 to hit, and that's 7 points of damage against Kugarg. The Blood Frenzy activates in Wrong as she goes in for the second attack and gets advantage on the next attack against Kugarg. With that Blood Frenzy in there, we got a base 14, total of 19, and Kugarg has been defeated and slain again as she just laughs and just, with the blood still on her axe, she just smears it across her face, just laughing and just sneering uncontrollably as she turns against Lord Dever the Hungry next. That is the end of round 2 here, and we shift into rolling to see how we're doing. So let's double check here. We still have 9 likes, which means we are rolling 92 to 100% on our D100 check to see if our third-party Devastator comes in or not. Oh, I also forgot all about the living spells here. My bad. I need to do something real quick here. Okay, so I need to add that in. And from the chaos here, we'll just say from the chaos of the Mutilator, a living spell bursts into life and is suddenly on the battlefield here. They're going to get a turn in. Oh, we're up to 10 likes, so now it's 91 to 100. Excellent. Thank you so much, Blanky Cat. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Update the token here. And the Burning Living Hands here has joined in on the fight. This is a third-party option that is technically a battle map lair action and has no side. All right, so we're going to update that. And the Burning Living Hand, if anyone wants to name this Burning Living Hand, please let me know. Let's take a look at this. As they're going to get an action here at the end of the round, they are also going to go on initiative count 20. So they're going to go again pretty quickly here. We're going to go ahead and add them in. And they are going to be initiative value 20. All right, so this is the Burning Living Hands here. Let's double check their abilities. What can they do? Not a whole lot, it seems. But they have a Magical Strike, Spell Mimicry, Amorphous, and Magic Resistance. So they can melee spell attack, +5 to hit, and hits one target. Okay, so that will be the Living Hands here. Rugged should focus on assisting the still living hobgoblins rather than trying to snipe. Oh yeah, well, that's definitely going to be the thing here. As this Burning Living Hands comes into play, it moves up and just starts assaulting the Zajal here, our Gnome Mutilator, and goes in for the Magical Strike. Base 15 to hit. Total of 20 to hit. That's going to be 7 points of fire damage to Zajal, as they take a little bit of fire damage. So Zajal has been hit here, and that is going to be the end of round 2. So we're going to go in for the attack. This is the best name this year. Also, any hand worth their salt should be named Thing. This is the best name for sure. Bob Charhanzer. Charhanzer. I like that one. I really like Charhanzer. That's good. I might have to go with that. All right, so let's see here. Let's go in for that roll, the D100 check. At the end of round 2, we have a 65. Unfortunately, we're not able to hit the 91 or higher to bring in our third-party Devastator. So, we end round 2 with a bloodbath on the Hobgoblin side so far, and we shift into combat here. Back to the top of round 3, the Burning Living Hand is going to... Let's see who they're going to attack. We'll just do a nice D1, 1d2 here. 1 will be the orcs, and the 2 will be the hobgoblin, or any of the hobgoblins that are left. Although, it still can't exactly see it. Oh, yeah. Roll. There we go. And that's going to be the orcs. So the Burning Living Hand continues their assault. Let me see if I can do this real quick and find something that makes sense. No global match found. Weapon type, generic. Let's see here. Range. Weapon type, spell, chain lightning. Fireball beam. Firebolt. Let's go with the firebolt. There we go. Now we have an animation real quick for our Magical Strike here. And the Burning Living Hands is going to continue assaulting Zajal, since they are the one that technically brought them into existence. Alright, so with that, we go in for the attack. That's going to be a base 9. This is a hit with a total of 14 and deals 3 points of fire damage. Sadly, it still didn't do any kind of attack, unfortunately. Or animation, that is. So that's 6 more points of damage to Zajal, the Gnome Mutilator. And that is the end of our lair action for the battle map. And we move on to Shore Deck here, who is, not looking so hot, and is going to definitely not reposition for the flanking, and is going to hold their ground and attack wrong here. So, shifting attention with the long sword drawn, Shore Deck goes in for the attack. We're going to get a D4 on that. It's not going to help, unfortunately. With an additional +4. Actually, that's a 12. Let's see if that would hit. That would hit. Okay, so we do get to deal damage here. So let's go ahead and roll the damage from here. And let's see here. Alright, so that does actually hit thanks to the captain's calls of leadership. And that's going to be a total of 9 points of damage to Wrong. Since they're also in melee range with the captain there working alongside, we're going to get the martial advantage and deal an additional... Ooh, buddy, 12 points of damage. Max damage there. Oh, man, Wrong is not looking so hot. She may be the first orc to go down once. We'll see what happens here in a moment. Just so you're aware, she is a CR1, so that's why she's doing pretty well for herself. That's Shordeck's turn, and he is holding firm with the position here to hold and keep the fort secured. Next is Kugarg, who has unfortunately been defeated, and we move on to Maul the Berserk. Maul the Berserk is going to rush into battle and probably go for the captain, and just comes dashing right in, not even really caring about the other hobgoblin here, and wants to take on the captain. So we shift to that, putting himself into a flanking, but he doesn't care. He goes ahead and activates his Reckless again and goes in for 3 attacks at advantage against the captain of the guard. Let's see here. I forgot to do what I was doing. There we go. With a base 14, a total of 19, that is going to hit Lord Ever the Hungry for 6 points of damage. We then go in for a second of 3 attacks. Base 18, total of 23. That's going to be another 6 points of damage. And then one more hand axe attack at advantage with the Reckless. We have a base 11, total of 16. That one does miss. The third attack finally misses our Hobgoblin Captain. All right, so Maul the Berserk just screams, tearing through past all the other goblins, trying to make sure he's the first one to take out the captain, and puts himself in a precarious position, although he probably doesn't care. Up next, we have Rugged. Rugged is up top and is going to shift over to here and assist from up top. It's about the same amount of damage, honestly, and it would just take a turn to get down. So he's going to hold to continue shooting with the longbow. We're going to have to get rid of some of these walls here because he won't be able to see otherwise. And we'll start sniping at Wrong here to try and hopefully get one of these orcs down. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make an attack here with the short bow. Let's see what happens. 17 base. That's, let's see here. Total of 20 to hit. And that's 4 points of damage. Where is Wrong at? Wrong has 4. So he's going to enact his martial advantage and roll the extra 2d6 to hit. That's going to be another 9 points of damage. And Wrong has been almost defeated. Wrong drops to a knee and just starts laughing as her eyes flare red, and suddenly her body just surges with power and stands back up. If anyone's ever watched like professional wrestling, when, you know, the hero drops to a knee and they're like, "Oh, I'm back up, mother effers," this is exactly what happens. Wrong is back to 1. Oh, excuse me. We want +1 here. She has 1 hit point left as her Relentless Endurance triggers. She has 2 more uses of Relentless Endurance left until she is finally defeated. Rugged, astonished by the fact that this orc is taking so many blows and is still standing, surprise, is drawing and getting another arrow ready to shoot. As he's drawing another arrow, Lord Ever the Hungry continues coordinating attacks and attempts to focus fire on Wrong to get her down and out of the combat. Goes in for the first strike against, and that's actually a reaction too. So the reaction's been used, and she might be down and out, actually. Let's see here. Or when the Undertaker just sits up. Yes, exactly, Truck 95. He was one of my favorite wrestlers. I don't watch it anymore, but Undertaker was my man. Alright, so Lord Ever, seeing that this Wrong has fallen but gets back up, goes in for the attack to try and take her out of the combat. So, even though they do have 3 uses of the Relentless Endurance, they only get to use it once per reaction. So, we're going to go ahead and switch to Lord Ever, who's going to swing once and try and take out Wrong once again. Base 4, total of 8. That is unfortunately a miss. We go in for a second attack with the great sword. Oh, another miss. Astonished by how much damage this Savage Orc Fury here has taken, he is unable to compose himself enough to defeat Wrong once again. Alright, that is Lord Evers the Hungry's turn, sadly. And we move on to Zajal the Gnome Mutilator. He's going to allow the Burning Hands to take an attack of opportunity as he moves into the fort to try and attack the other Hobgoblins here. Unable to see Rugged anymore, that has basically hidden behind the walls here. So our Burning Hand is going to get a reaction attack. And with a base 8... it looks like he does hit for 13 total, and that's going to be 4 more points of fire damage as Zajal just kind of shrugs it off and moves into the fort here. Moves in 30 feet and switches targets to shore deck here to try and attack. Actually, he could see Rugged, so he's actually going to continue attacking Rugged from up top. Down Hoblin Town goes. That is for sure. Evil Lord Gravy, I desperately want to see the Burning Hands get the melee group in a cone of AoE. Do they? I don't think they have, ironically enough, they don't have the ability to do that, which is sad. Oh, my shin's bleeding a little bit. Okay, gotta leave that alone. Okay, so the Burning Living Hands will do its thing later on. Zajal is going to go ahead and over the top of everyone take a shot at Rugged, who's going to still have the partial cover here, and goes in for that attack. Let's see here. Zajal, there we go. And goes in for the attack. Oh, almost a natural 20 with a total of 12. Misses Rugged once again, thanks to the height differences and being behind this wall. Maybe Rugged is able to deftly quickly move out of the way and dodge being zapped by the lightning once again. That is Zajal's turn, and we move on to Right. Right is up here and will... oh, this is actually going to be kind of funny. This is going to be Right's action. Right, seeing the Hobgoblin up here, rushes over the body of Kugorg and makes a leap over and jumps the gap to get on top of the tower here. So this is Right's turn here. We're going to go ahead and make an athletics check as she jumps across. We'll say... not too terribly difficult. DC 15. Otherwise, she falls and hits the ground. So let's see here. Athletics check. DC 15 we're looking for. And that's going to be a base 12. They go and just run quickly and jump across the way, landing on top of this short tower here. After climbing up, jumping, stepping onto the spikes here, and just leaps across really cinematically, and totals a 17 to get across, and now threatens Rugged with their hand axes. Alright, that is their turn, as the action was basically to run and jump across and make that check to get up on top of the tower. Up next is Grug, who hasn't really done much of anything, but is going to, attack shore deck. Why not? And we have 2 hand axe attacks, and we go in for attack number 1. That's going to be a base 17. Why am I rolling at disadvantage? Keep lowest. Shore deck. That doesn't make any sense. I gotta double check. Why is that rolling at disadvantage? My internet went out for a second. Oh, is it on spell mimicry? That would be really funny. Let me see here. Oh, it is on there. Thank you so much, Evil Lord Gravy. I didn't realize that. Okay, well, that'll be in the next round for sure. I mean, seeing this down here. Okay. Yeah, for some reason he rolled at disadvantage. Why would he have had rolled? I'm going to re-roll the... actually, I'll do a flip. 1 will be the 2, 2 will be the 17. I don't understand why that happened. Let's see what we get here. Okay, we're going to go with the 17. And that will be a hit on shore deck for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and roll damage. Oh, I want the description. Nope. Oh, shoot. Alright, the description doesn't have the damage. 1d6 plus mod. Their modifier is... what is the modifier? +2? Okay. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and take that hit. That's going to be a total of 8 points of damage against Shore Deck. Oh, man. And Shore Deck is wounded hard as that first hit goes in. Let's go ahead and see about this hand axe attack number 2. Hopefully we don't throw at disadvantage. Wait. Oh, I think I know what's going on here. Thrown, equipped. No, that's fine. Let's see what happens. I don't know why that happened. Let's go ahead and roll for the attack again. Okay, that's much better. Okay, that's a 10 with a base total, or a total of 14. The second swing from Grug is a miss, unfortunately. And we move on to Wrong here. Wrong is up here, barely alive. Restarts their reaction so they can use their what is it? Relentless Endurance again, and goes into attack. Probably Lord Dever the Hungry. Might as well. No, actually, because the Berserker is on him, she's going to switch over to Shore Deck and leave that for our Berserker to finish off, kind of knowing he's the top dog here. She doesn't want to upset him, and she goes into shift attacks against Shore Deck. Okay. We have our multi-attack of 2 attacks here. Excuse me. Wrong orc. Yes, 2 hand axe attacks. We go in for the first attack. That's going to be a base 10, total of 15. Just misses Shore Deck and slices and screeches metal on metal against Shore Deck's armor. Second attack of 2 is going to be a base 6 and misses once again, unfortunately. That is the end of Wrong's turn, and we go in for our... mid-round combat check here. So, end of round 3, we are looking at, 12 likes on the channel. So, we are now at 89 to 100% to try and pull in our third-party Devastator. Let's see what happens here as we move in and roll for this check. All right. And we end up with a 63, still in the 60s for this check. Unfortunately, not enough to trigger our third-party Devastator, sadly. We go to the top of round 4 with the Living Burning Hand. The Living Burning Hand just doesn't think, it only acts, I think. Yeah, with an Intelligence 3 and a Wisdom of 6, it only acts. So it's going to go ahead and come on in to 15 feet here. Actually, what's the movement real quick? They can fly or move 25 feet. So it's going to come into here and then pivot to here and just unleash a Burning Hand mimicry. Oh man, this is going to be bad. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use that spell mimicry. And, oh, you know what? Okay. Let me back this up, because obviously it wants to hit maximum. I didn't realize that was going to happen. Yes, I understand that. Let me go and refresh it. Silly thing. Okay, charged. There we go. Let's do this again. One more time. There we go. Everyone's targeted now. And at the top of round 4, the Burning Hands just comes in and does so much work. Oh my god. Okay, let's take a look at what's happening here. The spell mimicry does a Burning Hands. It has a DC 13 dex saving throw. Shore Deck, our Hobgoblin, rolls a 15 and passes, taking half damage, but because of how low their hit points are, fails and dies to the Living Burning Hands of Char Hanser. I'm gonna go with Char Hanser. Like that. Char Hanser. Char Hanser, our living Burning Hands, just completely annihilates Shore Deck. Maul the Berserk succeeds with a 14, takes half damage. And then Wrong fails with a 3. Wrong also procs their Relentless Endurance and survives the Burning Hands attack with 1 hit point again. That is their reaction, and they are back alive with only 1 hit point after being scorched alive. 1 more action left, and they can no longer use that feature. And then lastly, Lord Ever the Hungry fails to react fast enough with an 8 and takes the full brunt of 13 points of fire damage. That is the end of the Living Burning Hands, our Char Hanser's attack, and we move on to Shore Deck here. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And next is Shore Deck, who is dead. Shore Deck is done. Good hand. Charhanzer. Yes, go Charhanzer, go! Okay, so Shortek is done. Kugarg is done. Maul the Berserk is up next. And Maul the Berserk, once again, goes on Reckless and just starts attacking Lord Ever the Hungry, all crazy-like. With 3 hand axe attacks, let's see what happens here. Base 16, total of 21 to hit. That's 7 points of slashing damage. Another hand axe attack as he is just screaming madly and goes in for the hit. Hits again with a base 17 and defeats the captain of the Hobgoblins with an 8 and just slams their chest, bellowing out, and then points at the Hobgoblin up top. I think, yes, points at the Hobgoblin. Ha ha ha! You're next. Does that one do it too? I just want to see something. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a cool trigger too. Maul the Berserk's turn is over, and up next we have Rugged, who is last to go, valiantly trying to defend his fort, has nothing he can do, and drops the short bow, or the longbow, draws the longbow as part of the free action, and goes into attack right. Actually, you know what? Is going to actually use an athletics check to try and push her off the tower. We're going to do that. We're going to do a little tower push here. Okay, let's see it. This will be a contest of athletics versus athletics. So Rugged goes in for the push, and with a base 1, that is not happening. Athletics check for right, our Fury. Oh, goodness, a natural 20 for a total of 25. Rugged goes in to try and push, and Right just kind of turns it around on him and grabs his arms as he has the short sword trying to push it out. Maybe she even just grabs the sword in her hands, letting the blade cut her hands, and just smiles and sneers at him with a just crazed look in his hand. And as the middle of round 4 comes to an end here, we now know that the Hobgoblins have been defeated, and the fort will be razed to the ground. These Hobgoblins have been defeated, and this is the end of Monster vs. Monster tonight. Yeah, exactly. She pushes him off instead. Yes. Okay, that's... I like that a lot. Yeah, she will push him off instead. He falls... Yeah, he falls 10 feet to the ground, so that will be 1d6 in damage. Yeah, that's enough to kill him. Fuck it, we'll take the average. Forget it. He falls to the ground and dies. And Right just yells in victory as the other orcs yell as well and start to just destroy this place. And this Hobgoblin Fort has been decimated. Thank you all so much for joining me for tonight's Monster vs. Monster here. We're going to go ahead and end the poll. And we see that 75% of you that voted on the poll, 8 of you. So that means 6 of you voted for the orcs. The orc boys were indeed the victors for tonight. Now, getting into the business a little bit here, just for the fun of it, because our orcs have succeeded. These orcs are all custom made by me. If you are subscribed to the channel and pay attention to the Custom Monster Mondays, you will eventually see these come up in the cycle. Right now, we are currently 2 out of 3 for our giant elemental giants. Oh no, giant elementals. The Savage Orcs will be coming up soon, so just keep a lookout for them. They may not be now, but you too can get your hands on these insane orcs to use in your games as well. You just have to wait a little while. They'll be here. So, if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you will get notified every Monday when another Custom Monster Monday comes out. You can also watch and see when the Monster vs. Monster videos are out, and then you can also hang out for Tuesdays when we do our Ever Side Questers, live streams of any TTRPG. Currently, we're doing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So, this has been a load of fun. Thank you all so much for joining me. A little bit more of the business. The virtual tabletop of choice is Foundry. This is being played on Foundry right now. I love Foundry so much. It is a chef's kiss virtual tabletop. You pay for it once and you have it for life. Don't use a service. Use Foundry. It's amazing. The battle map is by Moonlight Maps. You can get them at patreon.com/Moonlight Maps. The music is also in the description. It is The Hunter and the Hunted. This was a pick that Herr Doctor had found, and it was quite good. I liked it a lot. So this was another free resource on YouTube, And then the names were created by fantasynamegenerator.com, and the Savage Orcs were created by Hair Doctor. Once again, Hair Doctor, thank you so much for creating these tokens over on Hero Forge. And yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a question of who would win, it was just when. So that's the business. Thank you all so much for joining us. We, the Ever Side Questers should be back tomorrow, so take a look at that. We should be playing again at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so if you enjoy watching live streams of TTRPGs, come catch us tomorrow at 6 p.m. We will be playing the next part of the Abominations Vault, session 3, I think, 3 or 4. And yeah, my crew will all be back in town finally. They're all adjusted to their new environments. So, thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. And this is me. Oh, I should do my normal sign-off. Excuse me. This is me, Andrew, for the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel, asking the question, are your encounters even rated? Thank you all so much for joining me, and have a great rest of your day. See you all later.